2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Scarborough or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Hands up!
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Monday podcast. Our parenting expert, and we just call mother of the show, Maggie Dent's coming on today. Actually, my wife's got a question for Maggie.
Is her question, why is my husband failing?
Correct.
Correct. Hopefully Maggie has an idea about how to fix you.
Oh, great song, Fix You,
Yeah,
Coldplay, love it. Yeah,
I've got lots of questions for Maggie Dent. Heaps of questions. In fact, people can get involved as well. You can DM us at our Instagram page if you've got any questions for Maggie Dent. Next time she's on, she's going to be a regular on the show. Please enjoy Maggie Dent.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
A delivery driver has won a $80 million payout from Starbucks after he suffered serious burns when a tea fell out of its holder and spilt onto his lap. Michael Garcia suffered severe burns, disfigurement and debilitating nerve damage to his genitals after the hot drink spilt out of its container when a barista at a drive-thru in LA passed him his order. So went to go past the order, fell out of the holder, fell into his lap. He's taken them to court and he's taken home $80 million.
Hang on a minute. I've had boiling things put on me,
that's
but
different.
mainly by myself.
Yeah, that was wax.
And that... Oh, yeah. I did my moustache. Can you tell?
Well, that's...
But that hasn't done that sort of damage. What was in the bloody cup? Acid?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's very, very hot. I visited 7 Starbucks over the weekends. I've got no feeling in my testicles at the moment, but I'm hoping...
Well, that's the thing.
You're like, throw it. Travis at the drive-thru, throw it in my lap. 80 million.
But how old's this guy? Like, if he's an older bloke, he probably doesn't need his burnt sausage anymore anyway, so take the 80.
Michael Garcia, that sounds like a young man's name.
It does, doesn't it? It's why we are so different here in Australia. Why does
Agreed.
America get these huge payouts? Like, it's ridiculous.
I don't
It
know.
is ridiculous.
Stuff happens all the time and has my whole life. And we just go, oh, well, don't worry about it. You could have your arm cut off by, the local butcher and you go, that's all right. That's all right,
mate.
Ken.
Got
That's all
another
right.
one.
Got another one. Yeah.
What about this one? A South Florida jury awarded a woman $800,000 in damages. She was left disfigured and scarred after she suffered second-degree burns when a hot Happy Meal chicken McNugget fell on her leg in 2019 when she was 4 years of age.
Give me a break.
What?
The lawsuit said the nuggets were unreasonably and dangerously hot and unfit for human handling.
I mean, basically, where is that drive-through? Because I love me a hot nugget.
I mean, imagine how much America would have sued from biting into a donut when the jam in the middle is too hot. I mean, if you could sue every time you burnt your tongue on a jammed donut,
Mate,
worth
you do
a
it
fortune.
you do it for free every second day here at Nova. You don't get paid for it, but you still do it.
And everyone has a bit of a laugh, which is great news.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
The role of a lifetime. We are absolutely loving this show. 8:30 on the ABC. You can catch binge all episodes on ABC iView. But
What a great show.
It is a great show, and this lady is involved with it, and she, well, we call her our mum on this show. It's the magnificent Maggie Dent. Good morning, Mags.
Hey, hi guys.
Oh, Maggie Dent, even just seeing your name on this bit of paper, knowing that we were going to talk to you, it just brings a calm to the world. And, we were talking the other day, there's something about not only the information and the knowledge that you've gathered over so many years, but it's also your voice. It's a shame you're on the phone. I just want to give you a hug, but thank you for coming on.
All right, virtual hugs, guys.
Virtual hugs, team. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Do you know what?
It does feel like Maggie Dent is to parents or kids what Maggie Beer is to food.
Yeah.
something in the name. It's just you just want to sit at the table and make everything all right.
Hey, what's really funny, Chrissie, is that one of my nieces is married to Maggie Beer's nephew, so we've got two Maggies attached to one. What the heck?
Oh, God.
That's a lot of Maggie power.
Yeah.
Fitz, you wanted to kick it off with a question. We invite everybody to call through 13 24 10 if you want to ask Maggie a question this morning. Did you have something you wanted to kick it off with, Fitz?
Me? Did you want to do... Oh, well, I'm going to get my wife on very soon. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah,
all
why
right.
not?
Well, but actually,
Why
I'll
not?
get my... She's in the studio with me now, Maggie. This is my
Nice.
beautiful wife, Belinda J.
Hi, Belinda.
Oh, wait up. There
Hang
you
on a
go.
minute.
Go, honey.
Good morning.
Hello. What's happening?
Oh, look, I think you're amazing. Every time I have a dull moment in the car, I whack on one of your podcasts just to give me some insight of my two boys that are getting into the teenage years.
Oh, the fun time.
It is. Like, I thought life would get easier with boys, but it pretty much stays at a very constant rate of changing things the way I feel. But look, the only thing that I think, I mean, they're great boys, don't get me wrong, and I've got a great husband that supports, but they just don't need me anymore, and I'm taking it to heart. Like, they don't. Yeah, and it's really it's sometimes it gets me down, and then I try to explain to them why, and they seem to give me even nothing back.
So how old are they?
We've got a turning 12 and turning 16.
Okay, all right. So there's some good news and there's some bad news in this. The good news is that's exactly what they're meant to do. They're meant to pull away, to individuate, especially from mum, right? Because otherwise, and I keep saying this with great respect, but if we stay too enmeshed in our sons' lives as they go over the bridge to manhood, when they leave home, it's like mum's still got one testicle. Needing to leave with both.
Yes.
It's just sorry about that, but it's a really good way to explain it. And it doesn't mean to say we stop loving them. And this is where you've also got them at two slightly different ages. So it depends when they start this whole brain changes where they get even more moody and grumpy and forgetful. And that's often when us as mums come up with a bit more nagging to sort them out, where in actual fact, if we realise it's his brain that's making him even more forgetful, we need to be a little more sensitive around that and go, remember, this is what happens in this age. So they'll withdraw because they don't like disappointing you and feeling like they're letting you down, and they've left the backpack on the bus yet again. So rather than that, we just can remember the forgetfulness is a part of this stage and it's not going to last forever. How can we help you organise yourself so we help you get better at what you do, even though they'll still do it? So many feel like an alien comes and steals their boy. They used to have these lovely chats in the car, and there was this, and that loneliness it's like the biggest breakup. And I had 4 of them. Mind you, 2 of them I was quite happy to break up from because they were roosters. You could go any time. And then all of a sudden, when you've let them go, and you still are the loving mum. In my From Boys to Men book, when I asked men over 30 who was the most important person on that bridge to adulthood and manhood, they said their mum. Why? Because they're going to muck up a lot.
Yeah.
And if they've got a soft landing, they tend to come through it a little bit better. So you're always going to be there when the muck happens, right? And that's a really great gift. And then the last thing is they do start to come back. And so many stop me years later saying, I thought I'd lost it forever. And then as they get a little bit older and the prefrontal grows, they start leaning back towards you and might even have the odd chat, might want to do something with you. So you don't lose them forever if you hold the ground of love and compassion, but with good understanding that it's just the most confusing time ever, especially for our boys in terms of the changes. And then they've got the unpredictable, badly behaving penis. So they've got a whole lot going on there.
Who's controlling this thing?
It is. And you know what, Maggie? Just there was a piece of vision. It was on the 36 Months podcast. We've spoken about this. But the boys do come home and they take it out on Mum. Mum, why did you put this in the lunchbox? And it's disgusting. Then I get angry with the way that they treat Mum. And then there's a yelling match between everybody. But to hear you say that you're the only person that they're yelling at because they do it out of love. That's changed you, BJ, hasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good little eye-opener. And I do remember when I was young, everyone was like, you always hurt the people you love the most because they always stand there for you and be your punching bag every now and again. But, you know, it's hard to cop it over little things, and I try to reason with them and they don't care. I've got to laugh
now,
sometimes.
Guess what? You
I've got to
you try to reason. You cannot reason because they haven't got enough myelin in their brain for understanding reasoning. That's a mature adult brain, which doesn't happen for boys till 27 to 30 and girls 22 to 23. So we often think, I've explained it so beautifully. How come you're not getting it? And that's the myelination of the brain that is slowly happening. We just have too higher expectations sometimes because they could be 6'4", or a girl fully developed looking at us and she still hasn't got enough myelin, even though we know girls cognitively way ahead of our boys on that journey.
Yeah. All right. We've got so many calls coming through that want to have a chat with you, Maggie. Thanks, BJ. We've got Zoe in Narrabeen. Hey, Zoe, you got a question for Maggie?
I do. Maggie, okay, you can go out. Maggie, I just like to say I have in the middle of reading your book and I love it. One thing I've learned is firm boundaries. I've got a nearly 3-year-old and an 8-month-old, 2 boys. And the trouble is with the 3-year-old, I don't know how to, for him to do as he's told. It's not all the time, but how do you steer away from, the threats and the bribes and still get the toddler to do what you want?
Oh, look, there's a place that we think that and this comes from our own childhood and your own childhood, that you've got some imprints that tell you how to be a parent. There's still one that says that children are supposed to be compliant at all ages, and also that if they're not, then I need to punish that behaviour to make them stop doing it. And what we now know from the science of child development, neither of those are very effective because they're cognitively so immature, and boys even more so than girls. So what we do is we come alongside and go, remember, we don't do that, and scoop them up and lead them away. But we might hold their hand if they want to hit someone. So remember, we're not hitting hands in our home. We just have to do it 1,000,000 times until it changes inside them through what they're witnessing. So they learn more from modelling, damn it, than they do from our words.
Do you know
and that the boundaries are so important. Sometimes it's just a slight rise in your voice, right? Slight rise, and they'll start to get, and the rest of the time my tone is low, and it's... So the other good tip is connect and then redirect. So come alongside them, particularly boys, they're really tactile. Stroke that back and go, we really need it. It's time for us to head out because we're going to daycare. We come over, we don't yell from across the thing. We've got to come close, and then we say it, and then remember, pause, because it takes a while for little ones to even understand what the words are we say. We just assume they do all that at the same speed as us, and it's not.
And then the payoff will come in time. Thank you, Zoe. Thanks for calling.
And no means meltdowns, and that's absolutely okay.
It's very normal. Gem is in Baulkham Hills. Question for Maggie Dent.
Hang on.
You there, Gem?
Oh, hi, sorry. I literally just dropping off my little lady at school.
You're on with Maggie Dent.
Hey, Maggie, how are you?
You're good.
So I need whatever advice you can give us. My little lady struggles to regulate her emotions, and then when there is a big meltdown, there's a massive resistance to all the strategies that I've learnt in terms of trying to calm her down, trying to breathe and just be in a quieter space, give her a hug, and it's just consistent resistance from her and screaming at me that she's no.
How old is she?
She's 7.
Okay.
So I've got a paediatrician that is giving her ADHD flags and a GP who reckons that she's selective with that, and she's just mainly doing it with me. And just on the back of what was just said, I know that they come to their mum and mum's safe and take it all out on mum, but at what point?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And it's
what do you
hard
think,
work.
Maggie?
Look, I just need to know that anyone out there whose child is, possibly neurodivergent, they do struggle with their executive function even more than other children of similar ages. But there's another thing I want to throw into that mix. that her big feelings could be because she also has orchid tendencies. So I talk a lot about the rooster orchid girl, and we've got a couple in our family.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're very strong, feisty girls, which we want to encourage, right? Confident girls that want to have a go at things. But, man, when it doesn't work, so they're a bit really driven to perfectionism, sometimes embarrassment or jealousy, and that really triggers really big feelings, and it is really difficult. And then in those moments, you've tried everything you saw in the book, but what we've got to work out, we've got to work with our daughter when she's in a calm state. What things would you like Mummy to do when your big feelings are coming out?
Yeah.
And you're like in a quiet state. And then that's your job. It's one of the hardest ones out there because there are so many things that trigger those things on a sensory level that you're not aware of. And that, there are some great things and great people to follow. On my website, I have a top tips page, and underneath there I have one on autism and a few other things. And lots of people have put in where you go for the best information to support you as a parent. Because sometimes if you want to live another person's lived experience that's similar, it could be someone who can help you feel seen and heard as well. So, there's some good stuff out there. Go find your friends and your tribe online sometimes to support you. And remember, your girl is who she's meant to be. It's just that she lives in an atypical world where we're all supposed to be very compliant and well-behaved.
I love that, Maggie Dent.
I get that. Yeah, thank you for that.
Well done. A big hug from me.
Big hug. Big hugs all around. I wish you could be everywhere all the time, Maggie Dent. That is...
Hey, Whipper, can we just say on this last series, it's such a biggie in terms of understanding when is anxiety normal for our kids and when do I worry, particularly our tweens and teens. So and then I've had parents say, I've just looked at myself. So I love the finale. And I am super, I want to see this in every high school as part of the health curriculum.
Yeah.
Right? Because they touch on so many things, don't they?
It's really
and it's funny in places.
The role of it's been a great series, Maggie. The role of a lifetime. The finale airs tomorrow night, 18th of March, 8:30 on ABC TV. You can binge it all episodes on ABC iView as well. Maggie, you are a gem. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I love you guys. Bye.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Scarborough or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Let's talk about one man, and his name is not Gout Gout. We know that much because he is Australia's fastest man right now. And very quickly, when this story broke earlier in the year, Gout Gout became very popular around the sporting circles. And then his dad came out and said, guys, can we just get the name right to start with?
His name is Goat. It's supposed to be G-U-O-T. When I see people call Gat, I'm not really happy for it. It's a disease name, but I don't want my son to be called disease name. That is something is not acceptable.
Nobody wants disease name. Tommy was called herpes for years.
Do you know what I loved about Gout Gout? Is that whenever you walk into a pub, there's the alcoholics that are there every day, and it was their moment that they could look up on the television in the pub and go, you know what? Maybe I could do that one day. I've got gout.
They're talking about me. Hey, have a look at this. There should be a Gout Gout range of T-shirts where the overweight blokes with swollen ankles and elbows can just sit at the bar going, I'm with Gout Gout.
So he's signed a multi-year deal with Adidas,
Did he?
which I heard is in the millions because they can see the potential in this kid, right?
Wow.
He's done a podcast with Noah Lyles, who's the fastest man in the world. He won the Olympic gold medal in the 100 metres. And in that podcast, he said to Noah Lyles, "I'm coming for you." And Noah Lyles loves that because he's very confident about himself and he loves a new kid that's actually pushing him even harder. So it was a great podcast, actually, because they were both pumping each other up.
Yep.
And Gwat's going, "Mate, I'm going to come for you."
It's
so exciting.
And the other part is he's only 17 years old and the man is flying. Can we have a listen to what he did on Sunday in the 200 metres?
Away now, first of 2 heats that are in between. 200 metre prelims, top 3, next 3 fastest, and that's Gout. At least 10 metres clear currently. 50 left to travel. Everyone just watching the clock.
Gwat.
No, what? Yeah, so are the commentators getting it wrong?
No, I think the commentators were getting it wrong, so they've gone with Gout.
Well, that's what's going on. Are we,
I don't know. I don't want the time, though. Don't tell me the time. Whatever you do. Please don't.
That was like the AFL player, Scotty Camporelli, and for years the commentators called him that, and then we found out it was Camporeale.
That's right.
And it's when you change... I think it really upsets people when you have to change the pronunciation of their name.
Well, there was the Essendon footballer who went to Port Adelaide, I think, Fitz, Orazio Fantasia.
Yeah.
And Orazio... and I think his name is pronounced Fantasia. But then they just refused to change it. The commentary team and BT would not change the way he would yell out Fantasia,
because it sounds a lot better,
because he preferred saying it that way. Okay, so this kid, not only does he have the fastest time for the 200, yesterday he ran under the 20-second mark for the 200. You're dead right, Fitzy. This is the future of Australia's athletics, and you'll see this footage everywhere on your TV today. Paid through the paper, the man is flying.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Okay, does anyone remember this theme song from the movie?
On a pretty little farm, the sun comes up on a curious cat and a pug-nosed pup. A brand new
The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Ritchie.
No, this was Milo and Otis. And what year was Milo and Otis out, Tommy? Are we talking 90s, 80s, or it's a long time ago?
It'd be very late 80s, early 90s, and of course it's the story of two unlikely pals, not unlike the two of you, a little ginger kitten and a pug-nosed pup who take off on a journey of a lifetime.
I thought it was a movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Was there a remake?
You all right? Are you all right? Can you smell burnt toast or something?
Was it a remake or anything? Wasn't there a more recent Milo and Otis? What's the movie they did? And there was sort of a cat and a dog that trotted off together, and then I think that was revealed afterwards that in the making of it, they'd killed about 10 cats or something. What was that movie?
Yeah, that was Milo and Otis.
Well, that was not 1986.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that was... Yeah, well, it's...
1986, yeah.
Oh, time flies when you're talking cats and dogs.
Anyway, the reason why I've played that theme is our cat went on a journey on the weekend. Now, there's a story around this because I was away for work. This was on Friday, guys. So on Friday night, my wife decided to have a girls' night at home.
Here we go.
Both the boys, Chrissie, had sleepovers at friends' house, and BJ said, "I'm getting the girls over.
Yeah.
We're going to have a few drinks at home, okay?"
Let's go, girls.
How brilliant.
Nothing better than a couple of wines. The thing is, though, one of the ladies, when they've entered our house, have left the front door open, and that gave Luna, our little cat, who's around about 1 or 2 years of age, the chance to skip out of the house. And we don't let the cat out because around our area there's a few snakes and stuff, and a few cats have been killed in the area. So we let her out every now and then, but we're with her, but she doesn't go out on her own.
Sure.
Thank God, right, that BJ's only just recently done this, but someone told her in the area, why don't you put an air tag in her collar, and then you'll be able to track her if she does get out.
Is it the same size air tag as you have in your luggage? It's a big tag.
It is. It's a big tag, but you can actually buy the collars now, Chrissie. So I must admit, the collar is quite big around her neck, but thank God we had it. The thing is, though, the girls didn't realise that the cat was missing until midnight.
Oh, my God. And they're as full as a state school by then.
So this is midnight on a Friday night, and the girls girls go on a journey with BJ's phone to track down Luna the cat.
Oh, my God.
After how much rosé?
So they're half tanked. 2 kilometres. They walk for 2 kilometres and realise that Luna the cat is in swampland. So they don't know, they can't see the cat, but it's saying the cat's sort of like 20 metres away.
No.
So then, I don't know, Jess, can you please play for Chrissie the sound that BJ makes to get the cat in? This is it here. Puss, puss. So she just yells out puss, puss the whole time.
So for 2 kilometres, she was yelling out puss, puss down the street.
Yeah, into swampland, half tank. She's got a bag of food and she's rattling that because cats always hear the bag of food and they always come over for the food.
I used to tap a tin of Whiskers. Yeah.
Yes, but unfortunately, the cat's not coming at all, and BJ's freaking out. The girls go back home. They're all freaking out. Everyone goes home, and BJ goes, I don't know what to do. She finally goes to sleep late at night and then gets an alert first thing in the morning, and the cat's at the front door just licking itself.
What did Luna get up to?
Well,
did it have a dead rat or anything?
Major roads, went over major roads with traffic and cars going everywhere. But these cats are tough, man. They are really tough.
And you don't know what happened between the swamp and when it got home either. It might have got an Uber home, Fitz. You don't know. Could have had, I mean, when it heard Girls' Night Out, it probably locked in with some other cats from the neighbourhood and settled in at the swamp. Hey, girls, we're heading to the swamp tonight.
But it wasn't wet at all. It wasn't muddy at all. It's hanging out in swampland. Probably killed a couple of birds and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was done and dusted. I do love, though, that it's all happened. The disaster happened while the girls were halfway through a drinking session at home by themselves.
Well, there would have been a dance-off as well. The music would have come on. And then someone ruined the party by saying, where's the puss puss? Come on. Where's it gone?
It always ends in that sentence, doesn't
it? It has to.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Can we talk about the Land Rover Defender? It's regarded as one of the toughest cars of all time, the Defender, isn't it?
Lots of Defenders on the road. They're not cheap either.
So they're not in production anymore. I didn't know this. This is an unbelievable story. In 2015, a guy in Yorkshire, he's got his own company. It's called Twisted, and they do sort of custom-made upgrades to cars and that. So this company, he and his mates love this company so much, and they love the Land Rover Defender. In 2015, he made a decision when they said we're going to make a final run of Defenders. He said to his mates, let's put all our money in together and let's buy 240 Land Rover Defenders, the last of them, before they don't make any more. Now, at the time, the Land Rover Defender was around, the cost between $53,000 to $67,000, depending on the model and specification, right? He negotiated with them a 14.8% discount on the 240 vehicles, paying around an average of about $44,000 per Defender.
Okay.
Right?
So what's that? 44,000.
Yeah, times 240. What does that come up to?
240. They've spent $10.5 million.
It's a lot of money, right? I think the company was doing quite well, and it's a huge risk.
Wow.
In September 2022, okay, so fast forward 7 years, the company announced the final 16 vehicles from the haul will be sold. So Land Rover was selling these, the last 16 of them, and he's got 240 of them, at prices up to $450,000 a Defender.
Bang.
That's an 800% markup on what they cost in 2015. So over the years, he sold some off here and there, right? So he didn't get that amount for each one. But he said, I guess you could directly attribute $100 million to $120 million's turnover that's been achieved off the back of this buy.
Do you know what? This story became famous when COVID hit because everybody wanted the dated Defender. So when people stopped travelling, they couldn't go anywhere. No one was spending money on flights and aeroplane tickets. People wanted to have a bit of fun. So they decided they wanted to buy a weekend or a vintage style car.
Yeah.
And that's when this guy, just off the back of thinking they're not going to make them anymore, made a fortune.
So he said, I have some, but I'm keeping them for a collection of my own. I might release the odd one here and there. We have a few special customers. But the last dozen or so, I'm going to keep to myself. I think that, he said, he doesn't even know. I think there's 25 left at the moment. We've stored them, serviced them, cleaned them, covered them. We've looked after these things for 10 years. And I'm kind of attached to him. He just wants to have 25 hanging around.
Yeah, that's fine if you've already made $100 million.
That's crazy.
Have as many as you want hanging around next to your private jet. Unbelievable story.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Scarborough or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Chrissie's Clickbait.
Don't you agree that one of the spookiest and confounding stories of the year is how Gene Hackman and his wife passed away?
And the dog. Yeah,
And
we
the
were
dog. talking
about this last week. It's getting stranger and stranger.
It's like the game of Cluedo.
His wife passed first, which freaked us out. We thought that he was 95 and he went first.
Well, I initially thought it was a lot more sinister,
So
but
did
yeah,
I.
she'd been unwell, and she passed away. And then because he had very advanced Alzheimer's, he lived on in the house when she'd passed away. That to me is just the spookiest image.
Of him wandering around not knowing what's going on. She's dead in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And the dog's dead in the cage.
Yeah, why was the dog in the cage?
Well, they think she was either taking the dog out to the vet or some sort of treatment.
No,
or
that's what I said. I said that to you last week off air. That was just my theory.
Oh, no, that was right. Yeah, we were having a
was
discussion.
it?
Yeah. Or that she'd brought the dog back.
It's
And then-
great.
Oh, my God.
But see,
So spooky.
the thing that we spoke about last week, Chrissie, how sad it was that that no one checked in on them. Like they were dead for weeks, and then I found out that they've got 3 children.
Yeah.
Or he's got 3 children. And the will's just been released, hasn't it? And
Yes.
the children
Yeah.
don't get any of it.
The children aren't, well, they're not in the will. He signed it all over to Betsy, his wife, who, of course, has passed away. He's worth $80 million.
Jeez.
And I just wonder, I've always wondered when that happens, when parents cut their kids out.
Yeah.
I wonder what goes on there, because all people that go, I'm not going to leave anything to my kids, they have to earn their money themselves.
Oh, no.
Why? I don't
That's
understand it. It's like, doesn't everybody need a little bit of something?
Quite often they do it. The wealthy people do that. And you look at Warren Buffett and his son, who's, I don't know, older than me, he's 50 plus. He's been a struggling musician for a long time, and all he wants to do is release an album. And Buffett won't give him any coin.
I just think that's mean. I don't see the point of that. I never have. By the way, what is your favourite Gene Hackman role?
Oh, God.
Mississippi Burning.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be.
Chrissie Swan, wouldn't it be interesting if the inheritance was with her, but then she died and then it went to him quickly? And then it's kind of the inheritance is jumping as
It's like hot
the
potato.
bodies keep dropping
Hot
to where it
potato.
then ends up.
And then what if the dog got it? That's not a good outcome.
Well, it ends up with the other 2 dogs that survived.
Correct.
But what if so does anyone know what's in her will,
Me.
Chrissie? Because if she's gone now as well, or like this is the thing, do her children get it? Or I don't know.
I don't think she's got any kids. I don't
Right.
think she's got any kids. You didn't ask, but my favourite Gene Hackman role is Royal Tenenbaum. It's one of my favourite films of all time.
Really?
And he's never
Yes.
been better.
Okay.
Just quickly, Mel
Yeah.
C is in the country.
Love Mel C.
She is my absolute favourite Spice Girl. I would give anything to meet her. She's, what a voice. Apparently was look, only one that could sing in the group.
Yep.
And I just want to give a shout out to this duet with Bryan Adams, which still slaps.
It's a great song. Great song.
Oh, what a tune!
Be worth giving this a bit of a run, Tommy. It's a great song.
Yeah, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it now?
I want to do it right now. Do you know what? She was at the Don Julio event over the weekend and DJing.
What?
Yeah. And Tommy...
Also, she's ageless.
Isn't she? She's got the new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Tommy, can we get her on the show ASAP?
All right, we're going to do that. We're going to aim for that this week.
When? Tom, give us a time.
Yeah, I want a date and a time.
You've only just asked me for it. I mean, how can I? But hopefully by Thursday.
All right, good work, buddy. We're going to play it now.
Anyone know what Mel C's favourite Gene Hackman's movie
No, we'll ask her on Thursday at 20 past 8. Tom will have organised it.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Great little moment in a relationship story that I read where they've said there's 6 words you don't want to hear in a relationship. And I couldn't agree with this more. They are, I don't want to hurt you.
Oh, I thought it was I am sleeping with the nanny.
Yes, that can get in the way. That can often trip up a relationship.
Well, you could probably condense it down to it's not you, it's me. Mm-hmm. That's always a good one.
That's a good one. Or what about this one? You should lose some weight, fatty.
Yes.
That's also...
that can get in the way.
That's see you later.
What about I got an STI in Bali?
I got an STI in. Yeah, that's 6. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you
or
so
the
much.
tests are in and they're not good.
What about I've remortgaged the house, we are homeless? What about that?
Yep, that's going to get in the way also. The words, I don't want to hurt you, an expert has come out and said, and I think we all know what this means. It means that you've got more feelings for me than I have for you.
Absolutely. Have you ever said that to anyone? Have you ever said that sentence?
No, but you know what? I remember when Lisa and I started dating. Oh, no, she said, I don't want you to hurt me.
Oh.
Yes, that's what we were going to. We were going to a party, and then she didn't want to turn up to the party. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I don't know. I don't want to talk about it." So I left the party and went to where she was, and I said, "What's going on?" And then Swanee, after she said, "I don't want you to hurt me," that's when I said to her, "But I love you." For the first time.
Oh, that's
was
so
that-
nice.
Yeah.
That wasn't at Chinatown when you took her there and you were still seeing another girl at the time, was it?
That wasn't absolutely not true. It was certainly during a grey area.
That's the story I want to hear.
And
It wasn't after. It's not after you knocked off 20 dumplings. She didn't say, I don't want you to hurt me.
No,
she saw you annihilate.
I gave her the bill and I said, I don't want to hurt you, but someone's going to need to fix up this. I've had 24 buns.
Xiaolong Bao.
No, and Ryan, for the record, nothing happened that night. That was merely a business
You told
meeting.
us that you kissed her. You
No, I
told
did
Tom and
not
I that you
kiss her.
kissed her that
No, I
night
didn't.
while you were still in a relationship.
It's absolutely not wrong. And Tommy, if you were thinking about putting this in the National Hour, cut that.
That's that's nothing to be ashamed of either. Tarzan hasn't fully let go of one vine when he grabs the next.
Well said, Chrissie Swan.
The old leopard doesn't change its spots.
No.
You've got to test that vine you're swinging to and
Swanee-
see if it's sturdy. Then you let that other one go. See ya.
Sometimes you've got to shuffle the cards.
I'm through the forest.
Can we get that on a T-shirt? I like a Tarzan quote. It's up there with your Cookie Monster one. We'll get to that one too.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Scarborough or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.